All right, welcome back to the Closing Room AZ. I'm Jesse Moreno, realtor and investor, and your straight shooter for everything real estate related here in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, we're in part 3 of our series with Tim O'Neill, president and founder and lead inspector of AZ Property Inspections. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, do so that you know exactly where we're at with this as we're building out this podcast information on throughout these series. So make sure you do that. If you've been here before, thank you for being back and watching our podcast. I hope you find all this information informative for yourself. This part is all about service. This part's all about the service that we're going to be talking about. Most buyers that don't know or what to ask for, right? We're going to talk about the services that Tim's company has to offer, which is infrared, sewer scope, drones, the honeydew inspections. So Tim is going to break it down for us in plain English, so you guys understand what it's all about. And again, this is not just for the realtors or buyers or sellers. It's for everyone that has a home or is looking to buy a home. This is going to be great information for you. So, all right. So, Tim, I was on your website, inspectorsaz.com the other day, and you have a lot of information. I saw so many things that I guess most people won't realize as far as your services. So there was a lot of things going on in there. Let's break down some of these so that our audience here know what to ask for, of course, when they call you up for their service. So let's talk about infrared inspections.
Okay. All right. Infrared inspections.
Yeah.
They're excellent. They really are. Because, and we offer them, not everybody wants one, because in Arizona, a visual inspection is what is law. And so if you want to go beyond the law, infrared is really the way to go. And the good thing about infrared, it basically, it doesn't look behind walls, but it can see. What infrared is it's just temperature changes. That's all it is. And so it can tell us when an inspector is looking in the camera, he can see if there is insulation in the wall. Because everything else is blue in his picture, except for one little area that is kind of whitish, and that means that it's hot. And so what that infrared is telling us is, the difference between temperatures, and that's how we can ascertain what's going on in a house with infrared.
Okay, so basically seeing things hidden behind the walls that no one else could see without the infrared.
Right.
And that's a good point. Bringing this up, I'm thinking to myself, boy, how many times we've done home inspection without the infrared, and we don't know if that insulation behind the walls are to code.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
Exactly.
Or perhaps
or there at all.
Right. Or it could be an older home.
Sure.
The insulation has fallen apart.
Sure.
There's not enough in there.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And living here in Arizona, we want to make sure the house is well insulated to keep the house, at least from the AC perspective, it's nice and cool.
Right. And it's not even just that. It helps us with water issues because water is cooler than the air normally. And so it will tell us, and we can see within the camera view that there might be an issue with water in from a bathroom or from a leak in the ceiling or something of that nature. And so again, it's just telling us differences in temperature, but from that we can ascertain whether or not we're dealing with a leak or missing insulation or something of that nature. And so it really is an excellent tool.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay, cool. I've used them before. But I got to tell, I'm guilty. Sometimes we don't have the infrared service. I don't know if perhaps the inspector that the buyer wanted to use, and now I'm thinking to myself, I'm wondering if my guys that I've used in the past too, if I just requested or not, so it's a good point because we got to make sure that property there's no issues behind the walls that we can't see.
Right. And normally, in most houses, we can go up to the attic and see what's going on in the attic as far as insulation is concerned, or leaks or anything of that nature. Normally, that's the case, but not always, obviously. And so infrared does help us. It's just another tool that we get to use to help people decipher what's going on with their house.
Let me ask you one more question regarding infrared. So is that the same thing where they're like shooting the infrared into a corner, like where the AC's coming out? Just to
No.
Is that's something different?
Yeah, that tells us temperature. And years ago, back when I first started in the business, we didn't have those. And basically, they look like a little gun, and they point a little laser, and they're telling us the temperature. And and so they're a glorified thermometer. But years ago, before we had those, yeah, we had to go around with a little thermometer and go up to the vent and put it in the vent and leave it there for 5 minutes just to see if in fact it was blowing out the correct airflow and the correct temperature. So yes, things have advanced, thank goodness.
Well, I'm glad I asked, because I'm sure some of the listeners are probably saying, was that the same thing, or maybe? No. So I'm glad. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I thought maybe it was something similar to that, because I've seen where they've come, to our inspections, and they've shoot the little laser beam up there. I know they're trying to figure out just make sure if the right amount of cold is coming out based on the settings, or if the house is balanced correctly, right? But
no, they're great. They're great tools. They really are, and they can tell us pretty much if in fact the HVAC system is working efficiently or not. And so what they're doing is actually called a delta T split, and that's taking the temperature of the vents, the air coming out of the vents versus what's going back into the return, and it has to be within a certain range for us to say, it's working well or it's not.
Gotcha. All right. Let's jump into another of your services. So the sewer scope inspections, right? This one does come up a lot as well, especially in older neighborhoods. I saw sometimes in Sun City West, and these homes are a little bit older. That's where the sewer scope inspection is really key. But share with us a little bit about how that works and what that is.
Sewer scope inspections have really come into their own recently, and because the price has come down on sewer scopes. Years ago they were very expensive. Now you can a typical sewer scope is well under $300, and so I suggest to everyone buying a house, definitely, consider getting a sewer scope. It is well worth the money on an older house because, older lines do get, they can have issues, obviously. Older sewer lines can have issues. And then, believe it or not, what we've been seeing a lot lately, I hate to admit it, but on new construction, we've had many, many issues of sewer problems in brand new construction. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it is true. It is true. And so, consider it even on a brand new house. It's well worth the couple $100 to do it because we have found so many issues in new construction.
Agree. Absolutely. Look, pay a couple $100, get it done, get it serviced, because if you don't and you find out down the road that it's there's an issue, it's not going to cost you hundreds. It may cost you thousands to get that fixed.
Definitely.
Small investment to pay for to avoid some future high cost issues, right?
It can be very expensive, very expensive.
I bet.
Just extremely expensive. And unless you can pin that on a builder or something, you're on your own as far as your own, homeowners insurance. And so, yes, it can be extremely expensive.
And I could tell you guys stories as well. And we could spend a lot of time on this one because I personally had experience with family members who've done some a sewer scope, and they found that some major problems prior to them trying to fix the problem already. And I'm like, it's a little bit too late. Something we could have caught early on, but you don't know until until something happens. That's why it's important that you get it done prior to your home inspection. When you do a home inspection, or even on a new build, like you said. Yeah, it's key.
And even if you have a house and it's just an older house, you've ever had any issues at all ever with your sewer system, with your wastewater system, consider again just having somebody come in and do a sewer scope because they can tell you all kinds of fun stuff down there.
Yeah. All right. This one was pretty interesting. I saw on your website. It's called the honeydew inspections. Mm-hmm. Honeydew inspections. All right. What's that about?
It's for people that have lived in their house for a length of time.
Okay.
And a lot of people, and I'm guilty also, that you just don't know what's going on with their house sometimes, with various parts of the house, parts that you don't go up into or see, like on the roof, like on, in the attic, deep within the closets, it's just, they're excellent inspections for people that just want to know what's going on with the house, and this way they can have these things rectified, or if they plan on putting their house up for sale sometime in the future, this way they can get things taken care of beforehand.
All right. Very cool. So do you have that list available, like downloadable on your website?
List of
Like the honeydew list, something from the team, what to look for?
Yeah, we do have a list or two on our website. So
Okay,
definitely.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. But we got to make sure we reach out to you to get this and get more information. This is great stuff. I appreciate it. I'm learning. I got to be honest with you. I'm learning a lot more than I thought I was going to be learning. I've been doing this for a while, and I've done a lot of home inspections, that I've ordered from my buyers and so forth. But I'm learning some new things here, so it's pretty cool. I appreciate
Great.
that.
Great.
All right, drone inspections.
Yes.
You guys do drone inspections. Tell us
We
about
do,
that.
but you know what? I have to say, I'm not a big fan of drone inspections.
Okay.
My thing is and we try to do everything we can to get up on the roof. Reason being is that, yes, drones are good on roofs that we just can't get up to. It might be a 2-story roof, 3-story roof, whatever the case may be. But if it is a roof that we can get onto, we get on there.
Okay.
And simply because there's so much more that we can see right up close and personal with the roof rather than just seeing it from a drone. There is a big difference. And anybody that tells you that is not the case, they don't know what they're talking about. Really, to really do a good inspection on a house, as far as I'm concerned, you need to get on the roof. And it's bottom line stuff. It really is.
So
drones are good only in cases where we cannot get up on that roof.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. I'm with you on that. And I'm going to piggyback off of that because, I've had experience again with inspectors that just use a drone. And then we find out down the road there's some other issues that got missed because there's just the drone didn't find, just from the camera angle, however they said, you missed it.
Yep.
Right?
It happens.
So
It happens.
I think when you can get up there personally and physically take a look at it, and it's a better service than just the drone itself.
Absolutely. There's so much more you can see. There's so much more that you can that you can ascertain from a roof when you're there and you're physically there, looking in the vents and seeing what's going on with them. There's just so much to see and be seen up there. You really, without a person being up there, there's really no replacement, in my opinion. Yes, the drone is okay in an absolute emergency when we can't get up on that roof, but any other time, I want myself or one of my guys to get up on that roof.
All right, good stuff. Now you have some additional services that was mentioned on your site. I believe I saw. I want to just kind of touch on a few. You had a builder warranty inspection.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For both new construction. And I think I saw that.
A builder warranty inspection basically being a 1-year inspection.
Okay.
We have 3 inspections on new construction. One being a pre-drywall, one being the final inspection, basically 48 hours before somebody's supposed to take possession of the house, and then the last one being a 1-year builder warranty inspection. So this way, they take our list, and I just did one of those just last week where the builder took my list and used it as their outline on what needs to be corrected on this house.
Okay.
And good builders will do that, and they will just take the list as a whole document, and they will just literally check them off on what we found and things that need to be taken care of.
All right. You got draw inspections for investors and lenders.
Yep. Do a lot of those.
As well as commercial inspections.
Yep.
So it's
a
not
fair
just
amount of commercial inspections.
I was going to say, it's not just residential. You also do commercial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, they're great inspections, and we're out there all the time doing commercial inspections.
Yeah,
so.
you do have a full scope of product. That's why I was like,
we do.
A lot going on here.
Yeah, and I like it that way. It's good to have a good offering, and we don't get involved with radon inspections simply because radon is not prevalent here. It is not. In the Midwest, it's very prevalent.
Sure.
And that shocks some buyers sometimes when they come from the Midwest and move here. They're like, You're not going to do radon? There's, for the most part, there's no reason to charge somebody for a radon inspection. So we don't, in my company, we just don't do radon inspection. If they want to have that done, we can certainly, give them a name and a number of a company that can do that for them. But, I like to specialize in home inspections because that's what I know, that's what I like, and that's what we do.
Awesome. All right. We are going to close up this segment and jump into the next one here, part 4, I believe it is, in a few seconds. We're in a little bit. So, Tim, tell me how can my audience get a hold of you?
We are at inspectionsaz.com. I'm at tim@inspectionsaz.com. You can contact our office at office@inspectionsaz.com or 480-283-5642. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are all over the map.
All right. Awesome. And a lot of information, I'm going to go ahead and put it on my podcast as well. So in case you guys missed it or don't go back and write it down, it's also going to be some links there on my site. So you'll be able to get to him as needed. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We just completed part 3. We are going to jump into part 4 of our podcast. It's going to be the rapid fire questions. So we're going to throw it out there and see how he handled it. And after that, again, we're going to close up and give you guys our last and final for you guys to have. Please make sure you guys subscribe. Leave a comment. Scan the QR code on the screen. You can always find us at The Closing Room AZ, whether it's on Instagram or on YouTube. And thanks for hanging out with us. We truly appreciate it here at The Closing Room AZ. Again, I'm Jesse Moreno, and real conversations drive real results here in this channel. So have a blessed week, and remember, set no limits.